Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from Mason Works Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my dear friends, Andi and Jonathan Goldman. Hi, guys.
Kathy, hello.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you today and to share all of your amazing knowledge about sound healing and about World Sound Healing Day that everyone in the whole world can participate in so easily and help make the world a better place. So why don't we start, if you wouldn't mind, explaining a little bit about your journey to discover this incredible gem about sound healing. And I know, Jonathan, I started in the 80s with doing all of this. So I don't know, either one of you, whoever wants to start, but I'd love for the audience to understand the passion and the legacy for sound healing that these two beautiful people have given us on this planet, and be part of their fan club like I am.
Kathy, thank you so much. And first of all, I just want to say, in behalf of Jonathan and myself, we are delighted to be here with you this morning, Kathy. And it's a great honor and a beautiful privilege to be sharing our information on sound and World Sound Healing Day. And Jonathan, who I consider a founding pioneer in this field, you go, boy.
All right, I go, boy. I will begin by saying that right around the turn of the new millennium, Y2K and all that stuff, we were in pretty deep meditation, and I received, if you like, information that I had been working for about more than 20 years, bringing sound and awareness of sound as a healing modality to the public. And I'd been doing this on a level focusing on using sound for personal healing through different books I'd written, such as Healing Sounds, etc., and the 7 Secrets of Sound Healing. And now it was time to begin to also incorporate the uses of sound for planetary healing. I thought this was a great idea. I said, all right, tell me how. And transmission got cut off. So we had to sort of spend the next year or even couple of years trying to figure out how to do that. And we ultimately, and we worked with some other wonderful, well-known at the time sound healers, including a fellow by the name of Tom Kenyon, another fellow from Australia by the name of Chris James, trying to figure out how to do this. We decided that we would find one day in the year where we would coalesce people and get them together to make sound with the intention of helping the planet. And we thought, oh, what better day than Valentine's Day, which is, I won't say universally, but it's in a lot of different traditions, February 14th, Valentine's Day is a day of love, of heart energy. And we thought, okay, let's make Valentine's Day World Sound Healing Day. And for the first one, I remember we basically focused on doing an ah sound, which a lot of people, a lot of traditions, a lot of cultures believe is the sound of the heart center, and all these different traditions, the various sounds of the god and goddess names, Buddha, Krishna, Yaheshua, the Hebrew name of Jesus, Tara, Wakantanka, all the ah sounds. So we're going to have people make an ah sound, and then we're going to have them tone it around 12 o'clock New York time. That's the beginning of it.
But, Jonathan, I'm going to back up just a little bit, because I want people to know that we have been working with sound, well, Jonathan since the 80s, myself for the last 30 years. And what we know is that sound coupled with intention can really begin a healing process. And what Jonathan was just talking about with, how can we do this globally, which is why we created World Sound Healing Day, because we know the power of sound to shift and change consciousness, whether individually and now globally, as we all gather for the World Sound Healing Day.
Well, I want to interject right here that this is the 24th. So we're almost a quarter of a century into this. And when you started it, did you envision it as a global event? You did. Oh, so it's just on its road.
Always global, Kathy. The internet was just in its infancy, and at best, in order to communicate like this, we work with internet radio. So we did a couple of different internet broadcasts, one right around noon, and then one around 8 o'clock at night for our brothers and sisters in other places to try to do it. Just the idea of projecting a wave of light and love that would go through the earth. And this has had so many different variations that we've gone through over the 24 years of doing it in different places, doing it live. And we'll talk more about the manifestation of it currently now, but how about if we talk to our beloved audience a little bit about how and why sound can heal and transform? Would that be okay?
Yes, please.
And one of the ways we like to do that is we start out by talking about what we call the 4 pillars of sound healing. And these, we knew that people were becoming very interested in working with sound, working with frequencies. And so we put the 4 pillars together as a way to sort of set a foundational aspect of working with sound. So I'm going to just say what those 4 pillars are, and then we'll talk about each one briefly. So the first one is we are all unique vibratory beings. Everything is vibration. And that, of course, is a touchstone for working with sound. The second one is intention. Intent is powerful. The third one, we are all unique vibratory beings. We are all on our own unique path, but we're very connected, even though we are unique vibratory beings. And the fourth one, and this one's my favorite one, it is silence is golden. So we will go into silence after we create sound.
I have to,
yes.
These 4 pillars that we sort of independently got together actually turn out to be the first of the 7 secrets of sound healing, which is my first book from Hay House. And I hold that up simply because I'm so happy, because a few weeks ago, this book was finally turned into an Audible with me doing the vocals. So I want to tell people that they're not into reading and they're into listening. I did the voice for the 7 secrets of sound healing, which contain the 4 pillars. We're going to tell you what they are now.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to let people know seriously that there are a huge collection of ways for you to learn. You want to say that again? This one has a CD at the back of it, and it's the Divine Name, and that it's amazing. So anyway,
here's another one called The Humming Effect.
And this is our most recent book, and
we're going to do show and tell.
Well, here's healing sounds.
Right. And here are chakra frequencies.
And so now back to the world of sound and the 4 pillars.
All right. So the 4 pillars, as Annie said, the first one is everything is vibration. And this is something that a lot of people have become really aware of now. And I'm going to say, before I begin even talking about this, that folks, stay tuned to this, because there's a lot. Sound has really begun to flourish and take hold on the planet. But because of that, there's a bit of, I'll say, misinformation or not true understanding of a lot of the concepts of frequency. And so I'm going to share at least my experience of over 40 years of being active in this field. Some people say pioneering it, whatever. But we want to share this with you because it may be very helpful. The first thing is that everything is vibration. And our ancient mystics and our modern quantum physicists are in agreement. Everything is in a state of vibration, from the electrons moving around the nucleus of an atom to planets and distant galaxies moving around their suns. Everything is in a state of vibration. conceptually, if it's creating a vibration, it's creating a sound. This includes our body, every organ, every bone, every tissue, every part of our body is, if you like, in a different state of vibration. And we should be, if we're in a state of health, in a state of harmony, harmonic resonance, if you like, and we're like this overall orchestra that is playing the symphony of the self. But what happens if the second violin player loses their sheet music? They're playing out of ease, out of harmony. Pretty soon the entire string section sounds off. Pretty soon the entire orchestra sounds off. And this is akin to a part of our body losing its correct resonant frequency and vibrating out of tune. And if you like, it's vibrating out of tune, out of ease, and we say it's dis-ease. So the very first principle incorporates also the concept of using sound as a healing modality, because we're simply giving the string player back their sheet music. This is we're somehow restoring the correct resonant frequency to that part of the body, etheric field, whatever, that puts it back into balance and harmony.
And that takes us really into our second.
Wait. I want to jump in for a second.
Okay.
Two fabulous ways.
Vibroacoustics.
Right. Two fabulous ways that sound affects us. One goes through our ear, and that's called psychoacoustics. Goes into our ear, into our brain, affects our heartbeat, our nervous system, respiration, all this stuff. The other one is called vibroacoustics, where the sound goes into the body, affecting us on a cellular level. So these two different things. So sound is not only just a phenomena that we hear, it is also a phenomena that we literally experience and work with on a vibratory level.
So that will now take us into our second pillar of sound, which is intent is powerful. And I do want to mention that with World Sound Healing Day, the intention of having people gather around the world, holding the intention of love and healing and peace and harmony for our planet. Because when we think about working with sound, the thoughts that we're having when we're making the sound, our intention is as important really as the sound itself. And 45 or whatever years ago, Jonathan created a formula, which is frequency plus intent equals healing. And when we break that down, frequency, of course, is the sound plus intent. That is the energy. Those are the thoughts that we are holding while we're making the sound. And those two coupled together bring about healing. And of course, there's so much scientific evidence now that intention is so powerful. I mean, we think about Lynn McTaggart's intentional programs.
Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief. Joe Dispenza, You Are the Placebo.
Oh, yeah.
And
so
more and more, just real quick, I mean, why this is so important, among other things, is because if you begin looking at, any of the social media stuff, a lot of people are projecting and selling different frequencies. This is good for this. This is good for that. This is good for this. You go, how can there be all this stuff? Some of them supposedly good for the same thing in completely different frequencies. This is what I found in the 1980s when I was coalescing this book for. I was involved in a master's degree program at Lesley University. I was basically getting all this different information together. And I found that the different, if you like, work of different scientists, spiritual masters, etc., didn't align. Everybody was using different stuff, and it really flipped me out. I said, how can this be? And this inner voice said it is not only the frequency of the sound, but if you like, the belief or the intention of the person making and receiving the sound that creates the effect. And I indeed wrote out frequency plus intent equals healing. So folks, if you're there and you got a pen, write it out, because our intention, the consciousness we put into the sound, is as important as the sound that we create, which therefore accounts for why there can be so many different healing frequencies that seem to work for a lot of people, but are quite different.
Well, and I want to also mention that our voice is the most powerful healing instrument that we have. And when we are utilizing our own voice, not only is it empowering because we are feeling these vibrations in our bodies, our minds, and our spirits, but it is like with the coupling of the intention, the consciousness, that together is so powerful. And so World Sound Healing Day coming up is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for people to use their own voice, that powerful healing instrument, and holding the consciousness of healing.
In fact, I want to bring in something that our dear friend Sarah Benson, who's working now in the angelic realms, shared with us. We'll share this with you, which is the true sound of healing.
Is love. And boy, if we can just hold that beautiful intention, we cannot go wrong.
And really, just this is a little askew, but not much. We find that love and compassion are two of the greatest, if you like, elements, whatever you want to term them, in terms of vibratory fields that are co-created, can be projected on anything. And for us to remember, as Andi was saying, the conversational voice can be used as a healing instrument, can be used to create healing sounds simply by talking. So folks, remember that. And if people are saying stuff that you don't agree with, just say, listen to what they're saying, and then don't make them wrong, but just, if you like, communicate them with love. It'll create all the difference and will help a lot of the divisiveness that's currently happening on the planet.
So hold compassionate listening as well as compassionate conversation. You know, we just hold that intention. It might get off skew a little bit, but we bring it back. Wait a minute. I want to hold that intention of compassion.
I want to add here that I am such a fan of the way that you two interact together, that and I'm so excited about your humming book because of that, because you've figured out a way to let each other shine beautifully without any competition. It's a total energetic collaboration. And that's why I love the relationship that you've created and the way that you walk in the world because of that. And so I want to just plug the humming book and the humming modality, because you certainly don't need any devices except your intention to use that. So I just wanted to compliment you guys.
And Kathy, actually, thank you. And you know what? Yes. I think that we'll do the next two secrets, and then we'll just deal a little bit with the power of hum before we move into World Sound Healing Day, which is what this is all about. But everything is correlated. There's no separation. We are all one. Okay, next one is our secret. Andi, would you like to
Well, we are all unique vibratory beings, and so we are, each one of us, going to be affected by specific frequencies and sounds in basically our own unique way. And so that brings us to the point that one size does not fit all. There is not a frequency that will be right for every single person.
And metaphorically, we oftentimes will ask in a workshop, how many of you are allergic to penicillin? And probably about 20% of an audience is going to be allergic to penicillin. It depends. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But if you perceive that if everything in the universe is a vibration, then certainly penicillin is a vibration. And for 80% of an audience, it's going to be a healing vibration, but it's going to be a toxic vibration for 20%. And I think this is a great metaphor for almost everything, whether it's a pharmacological tool, a supplement, a sound, anything. Nothing works for everybody. And this is great because that means we can really empower ourselves. If something's working, realize it may not work for somebody else. That's just such an important modality. And we want you to take that into your field of consciousness, because not everything is the same for everybody.
That's right. And so everything is vibration. Intent is powerful. We are all unique vibratory beings. Now, after we have gone through an experience where we've used our own voice, we've created sound, we've held the intention of healing, of love, we then go into silence. And that is our fourth pillar. Silence is golden, because it is in that silence where the shifts and the changes actually occur. And so being in silence, people get really excited about when they're, sounding and, they're feeling the vibrations in their bodies. And boy, those vibrations can bring us into such alignment and balance. And there's an enthusiastic aspect of working with sound that we've certainly experienced, and others have too. But we remind people to always go into silence after we have made sound. And that silence, I know, Jonathan, you always like to say it's the yin to the yang. And I always
yin to the yang of sounds.
Yeah. And I always like to say that the word silent and the word listen happen to be an anagram. They have the exact same letters. So when we meditate on the word silent and on the word listen, when we're in the silence, we listen within. And so all of these factors are part of the underlying foundation of working with sound.
Nice. Thank you. We want to talk about World Sound Healing Day, but on a note from our sponsor, the hum. No, but okay. So we have, been together working in the field of sound, teaching thousands of people, and we've gone through all sorts of different. As Andy was saying, the voice is the most powerful instrument, and we've worked with all sorts of harmonics, choral stuff, intervals, you name it, mantras, kirtans, you name it. And we really were looking for a sound, a vocal self-created sound that everybody could make, that people did not have issues with, because a lot of people have, for want of a better term, blocked throat chakras. I don't think they can do X, Y, Z. But then we, one day we're looking around and we said, what's a sound that everybody can make? And we went, And we basically work with the hum, and we created the humming effect. Babies hum, the elderly hum, people hum when they're happy, etc. And as we began to investigate the hum, we found that it had all these extraordinary different physiological benefits, and we're just going to name a few. Andy, start with one.
And I want to mention that the first chapter in our book, The Humming Effect, is simply peer-reviewed research. And that's what we want to talk about now, because there are physiological benefits, physiological things that are happening in our bodies, such as when we're humming, when we're working with our own self-created sound, our blood pressure is lowered.
And this is huge. If you're stressed out, this is an instant stress releaser. It's great. It doesn't cost you money. It'll take you about a minute or two if you start humming with what we call conscious humming, and it can drop your blood pressure down 10 or even 20 points, which is a pharmaceutical level. You don't have to pay for it. It'll do it by itself. That's one of the things we're going to continue on. You also get
the release of melatonin, which really, it was our sleep cycles are regulated by melatonin. That happens. Also, oxytocin, the trust hormone, is released when we are working with self-created sound. And oftentimes, I know when we're working in a group and we'll, be doing either a toning exercise or a humming exercise on some level, and people begin to feel this deeper connection with each other, because what's happening is that oxytocin is being emitted, creating those feelings of trust.
You also get increased heart rate variability. and get increased vagal toning. A lot of people are into the vagus nerve now, and humming is one of the few things that actually can create vagal toning. And my favorite, I think, though, in terms of the physiological effects of the hum, is that you get the release of nitric oxide. Wow. People pay for nitric oxide supplements, but when you do conscious humming, you literally get 15 times the amount of nitric oxide that's normally being generated, which is really cool. And also nitric oxide is, besides being a vasodilator, it's also an antiviral, antibacterial agent. So simply by humming, you can oftentimes get rid of some of the nasty critters that sometimes will lodge into our sinus cavity before they encode in different parts of our body. How cool is that?
Cool is that. And the other thing about working with, for instance, humming, is that we get to become our own therapist, basically. Because when we are feeling super stressed, the emotional body just is feeling way out of whack, and we take just a few minutes, just even really a few minutes, and we begin to focus on our breathing, we begin to start humming, all of a sudden, our bodies will begin to come into balance, and that stress will begin to lessen a little bit at a time. And before we know it, after we've hummed for even a few moments, a few minutes, we begin to feel an inner calmness, basically. Right. And we don't have to call our therapist right away, because we are our therapist.
And a couple of just hints on doing conscious humming. Number one, and they employ actually the 4 pillars of sound healing. But the idea, first of all, you want to keep your lips closed when you hum, because if you open your lips, then the sound energy goes out. When your lips are closed, you create the most powerful vibroacoustic sound that you can make, because all the sound is inwardly contained. You want you to hum on a note that is comfortable to you. We are all unique vibratory beings, so hum at a note that's comfortable to you. It's usually right around the conversational voice. That type of thing. Take a nice deep breath when you're going to be doing this. We usually suggest, what else, honey?
Well, we want to check ourselves out at the very beginning, because obviously we want to hum to get ourselves back into balance, so that we can really see the difference after we have spent some time humming. But as Jonathan was saying, we keep our lips closed. We, hum on one note.
Hum on one note. Yes, we're not going to do the 1812 overture.
Exactly.
One note, because that really increases the vibratory resonance. If you're moving all around, the solid vibratory resonance of one note, it changes. So it's best to do it on one note. And when we get done, we usually do it about 3 or 4 times just to start. And this is usually enough to literally chill your blood pressure, among other things. But then the important thing is be in silence after that.
Yeah. Should we do a little brief?
Okay.
Kathy, do we have time to do maybe a short?
Oh, sure. I mean, this whole event and this whole opportunity is for everyone to be a sonic co-creator. So I think it's an excellent idea. Nice.
Okay, so we're going to do this. Hopefully, you can tell me though right now, Kathy, because some platforms, unless we hit a couple of switches, it'll clip the hum. So if I go, did that clip or did that hold all the way through?
I think it held all the way through. This is a better recording.
Yay! All right. So we'll do about 4 hums. Everybody try this. Check this out at home. Don't watch us do it. Try it yourself. Once again, remember to do it at a note that you feel comfortable at, a frequency, whatever. Just hum naturally, without restriction.
And so what we like to do, what I like to do is ask you, if possible, if it feels comfortable, to close your eyes and begin to focus on your breathing. We want to take some nice, deep, diaphragmatic breaths, some belly breaths, as we call it. And we want to just focus a couple of breaths and release anything that is not serving us in this moment, and just focus on your breathing. And we're going to be on the in breath. We're going to breathe in, and it's the hum that comes out on the exhale. So we have this just breathing in. So we'll do this a couple more times. Take a nice deep breath, breathing in and hum. Nice deep breath in.
One more.
And one more time. Breathing in. And we'll be in silence now for just a few moments.
And we don't want to have too much, quote, dead air time. So I'll begin to speak even though I'm almost out of my body. And I forget how powerful this is. We just did 4 of these hums, and I'm very relaxed. And Kathy, how is that for you?
Oh, it's wonderful. And I started out humming lower than you. My tone was lower.
Yeah.
And then it ended up getting more in synchronicity with you. So that is part of the question I have for you, is the opportunity for people all over the world to participate in World Sound Healing Day allows there to be pockets, like decentralized pockets all around the world doing this. Could you talk a little bit about what that blanket opportunity does for everyone?
I sure can. And Kathy, before I forget, remind me to talk about the free training that is available. Okay. We call it the, it's a free program of training to get ready for World Sound Healing Day for people. I was just guided to do this, and it's takes about 5 minutes a day. It's a free download that you get, and deals with collective consciousness, heart-brain coherence, sound and vibration, compassion, energy and intention, and all sorts of other things. And it's great. So we just thought if you like, guided to give a little easy step-by-step program so we could create the most powerful, coherent field of sound that would shift and change the vibratory resonance of what we call the Gaia matrix, the energy field.
Is that available on World Sound Healing Day site? Okay, let me bring that up real quick for everyone, if it's okay. And
sure,
that you can point out. There we go. Okay, let's bring it up. Okay, there we go.
Okay, right. And you see, if you go down just a hair.
Okay.
Just a hair. And the global, click here to join. And then there's a training. You see over there, click here, 7-day vibratory preparation, that purple thing at, it says click here, free training. It's right there to the right. And you click on that, and that'll take you to a free thing. And it's just designed to help people because, Kathy, you've noticed for a while, we're mostly here to assist people and make things easier and fun. So,
And
Well,
you know,
the site is so full of great information and a way to feel like you're in community as you're doing this. It really is an opportunity to be part of a implanting and empowered love wave that helps the earth and us during these changing times.
Yeah, and Kathy, if you can,
yeah,
click on at the top the events, which is the third one. Let's take a look at there. What happens there, if anything. Maybe it does. Here we go. And so these are all the events. If you kind of scroll down, because this thing, and we'll just do it for a second because it's too long. But there are all these different events happening all over, and keep going down real quick, and we could just begin. And this really begins to get populated even more the last couple of weeks of this was something from St. Petersburg, a Lama chanting there. I mean, wow! Every day it's more and more people. So World Sound Healing Day is really divided into two components. The first one is this, which are these different planetary, if you like, events that are happening that people can tap into, and it's just a wondrous thing. And the other is this event that is happening it starts at 11:30 a.m. New York time, which is 9:30 in Colorado here, 8:30. My gosh, and it goes for an hour, and it culminates at 12 o'clock with doing the ah sound. 12 o'clock New York time, with doing the ah sound to try to create the most coherent collective field, on the planet. So it's two different things. They're interfaced and all that stuff, and it's just a great thing. Andi.
Well, it's another avenue, another way that people can participate. And Kathy, I'm glad that you brought that up, because what I feel so strongly about with World Sound Healing Day is that it is an opportunity for everyone to actually be a participant. Now, we just saw all the different events that are taking place. Some people decide to facilitate a particular event in their community. Other people will participate as a participant in whatever the event. But you, as a participating person on the planet, you can go to any of those events that we just even saw, and there'll be a whole lot more, obviously, by the 14th. And you can become that sonic co-creator. And once again, Kathy, I love how you said it really brings people together, and it decentralizes. I love that, because we've got all these people throughout the planet who are at that day, on this day, the 14th, all holding the intention through their sounding of harmony and healing and connection with each other.
And we are actually doing a live event with you.
Yes.
Here in Boulder. It's the first live event that we've done since perhaps 2020.
Well, since COVID,
right?
Basically. Yeah.
And it's going to be so cool.
And Kathy,
so here's a flyer for that too, because before the lockdown, we would all get together and do this amazing. It was almost poetic. What we would do, this group of like 60 of us or so, or however many, would sit and do this, and then in silence would leave. It wasn't a social event. It was a very strong intention event. And now it's after the lockdown, where so many more people joined from all over the world through your website. This is the first time we've gotten to do it in person again together.
Yay.
Here in
Boulder.
Boulder.
Excited,
Here in Boulder. This is our Boulder event. So if anyone's in the area, come in person to our event that will be taking place at 2:00 on the 14th, for sure.
Yeah. So just like everyone that is on the website, the World Sound Healing Day events Jonathan and Andi have held these events, and now doing another one in person, but you had to do it remotely for years. So this is really a big celebration in my mind. I'm super excited about it. And I'm excited about the opportunity to introduce this as a very positive, empowering thing for people to do together.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
All right. I just want to say that there's nothing like making sound live.
Yeah.
There isn't. I mean, we love it. We do different events like our sound satsangs where we have people tone with us. And it's an incredible thing because as we know now through quantum physics, we're all interrelated. We are all indeed one. It's our fields interfacing. And so time and space don't make any difference. But on a purely sensual level, there ain't nothing like making sound in person with other people. It's so cool.
It is. It's a very healing, I would have to say, a very healing experience. And I want to mention too that even when we were guiding our audience just now through just that very brief experience with humming, what happened is that we began to feel calmer and more centered. That is the place where healing occurs. And when you think about it, people throughout the planet, all in that place of sound internally and externally, there is such a degree of healing because we're holding that intention of harmony and health and love, that intention of love.
This is such an opportunity to be empowered and to feel when people say, what can I do? I'm just one person. If you're watching the media play, I want to call it because I can't have to keep it clean here. When you're seeing what the chaos is out in the field and you go, what can I do? Well, there's so much proof that one person resonating at a high frequency does impact thousands of people. And when you're intended on personal healing and global healing at the same time, Andi, you have a saying, heal yourself, heal the planet. Do you want to share that?
Oh, would love to, Kathy, because we say we heal ourselves and we
heal the planet.
We heal the planet.
We heal ourselves.
So it's this feedback loop. So we're constantly doing the healing of ourselves and the planet simultaneously.
I want to take a moment for anybody who's watching this who may not know, because this sounds, I think if I didn't know better, I'd go, wow, what a nice thought. But I want to tell you that there's a reality to it. There's a science behind this whole phenomena. Now, I didn't actually know that there was a science behind the phenomena when we got the message to, if you like, focus on using sound for planetary healing. But then, first of all, we heard about the Global Consciousness Project, which is out of Princeton, New Jersey. And in a nutshell, it's the work of a wonderful man by the name of Roger Nelson, who they created, if you like, a computer program that was a random number generator, literally created just zeros and ones. And just as you flip a coin and you get 50 heads, 50 tails, here you get an equal number of zeros and ones. But then they would have people around this computer and they would have them meditate, compassion, kindness, etc. And all of a sudden the numbers became askew, not an equal number of zeros and ones, but an unequal number. And they were able to graph it. Now, if you had an equal number, you'd get a flat line. But when there were events of high compassion that occurred, you'd get something that looked kind of like Mount Everest or whatnot. And they've done this. They've done this with World Sound Healing Day and all sorts of other events. And with this in mind, there's an organization called Heart Math. We're going to do kudos to Heart Math because they have shown that there's a connection between the heart and the brain and the heart, and that you can bring them into coherence, into synchronization together through simple matters of breath and a little bit of visualization. And we actually utilize this. Andi particularly do this. We do a guided meditation before we basically do the sound for World Sound Healing Day. So it's the most powerful, if you like, sound that is co-created, because when the heart and the brain are in synchronization, or when they're in coherence, our electromagnetic field is anywhere from 50 to 500 to some even perceive of 5,000 times greater. So we literally can interface with the planet, with the Gaia matrix. In fact, yesterday I got a lovely note from the people of Heart Math, and they're going to be doing their, if you like, a global consciousness tracking phenomena, on this day to see what happens, but also saying, thank you for helping feed the field, because there is a field of our planet, and how and what we feel feed the field is what manifests in our consciousness.
Well, and also, Kathy, when we are sounding together and we have sort of set that tone with coming into coherence with the electromagnetic field around our brain and our heart, when we then add sound to that field, it just magnifies it.
Amplifies
But what we do also is in bringing in that coherence, we are consciously holding thoughts of positivity, of love, of compassion, of healing. And so when we sort of prime our bodies, minds, and spirits to go into coherence, and then we add our sound to it, that is just a very powerful, potent recipe for bringing sound and healing to ourselves and to the planet.
And once again, when you get a heart-brain coherence, these are techniques, and humming and making sound, these are techniques you can employ in your everyday life for just putting yourself more in balance, feeding your field, putting yourself more in health and happiness, reducing stress, all of those things that we forget to do, that we need to do, that are vital and mandatory at this point in our evolutionary development with all the stuff that's going on.
But who knew we could do it all with our own voice, through our own sound and our own consciousness.
Isn't that great? The self-empowerment with intention and putting love in the air for everyone is going to really, I can't wait to hear what the valuations are that HeartMath capture this year, and that's very exciting news. I want to, as we're wrapping up, I want to make sure people know how they can participate in all of this, because we've gone through a lot of choices. I know that they can go to worldsoundhealingday.org. They can go to that site. They can get the free download. So for the first 7 days, they get to learn how to get the most out of the experience by training themselves and attuning themselves. Could you go down a couple other choices of what people do? So let's say I have plans at night, but I'm working. It is a Saturday this year, which is really nice. But what would you say for people, for families, for people that may not have an event close to them? What could they do to participate?
Well, just, and if the timing doesn't work for them, blessed be, because on World Sound Healing Day, on the events portal, we usually have 100, 200 events happening from throughout the planet, from, crazy places. I just saw something there. I just looked, first thing was St. Petersburg. Somebody's doing something at some particular time. Last year, I remember there was somebody doing something from inside the Great Pyramid. They're broadcasting it out. They're just all over, so you can check and see. A lot of them are Tibetan bowls and sound bath type of experiences, but at the same time, you also get people doing kirtans, you get chamber orchestras, you get all sorts of things, groups and organizations, and you can just experience these and bathe in the energy of light and love that are being projected.
So when you do go to worldsoundhealingday.org, you can go to the events that are posted, and you can click into any of those events. You know, if you are by yourself, or if you are, the timings on things don't necessarily work. But I want to mention, some people may not even ask your family, whether you're by yourself, but you can stop during the day and say, I am going to sound forth for even 5 minutes, even a minute, and I'm going to put my intention out into with all of those people who are sounding right now with World Sound Healing Day. So you can be anywhere and you can participate.
You can feed the field on your own. You don't need us, but we're just helping facilitate it, try to make it a little easier. And thank you for bringing us here.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that people knew to go to the website. They can see all of the amazing events. If they even see this earlier, because you can watch the video on the front page. You can go get the training program. You can put on your schedule for the Global Unified Heart Activation. And I think there'll be a recording of that later on too. I mean, if you can't do it until later, like dinner time, you could still use that as your thing to do at dinner, where in a family, to bring everyone together and to still experience it, because since this is all over the world, it's going to be done all different times all over the world. So you can get the benefit of the resonance that we're creating, or that Jonathan and Andi have created all these years, 24 years, you guys. It's a dedicated project. So anyway, I just want to make sure you couldn't have made it much easier.
No, but there's just lots of stuff happening, and there's so many different choices. And everyone, trust your heart. You'll be guided to what is exactly perfect for you and those around you that you love. And together, indeed, we can make a change and a difference.
Yeah. And becoming a participant is just such an opportunity. And you can actually, at any level, you can join us. You don't have to facilitate. You don't have to join a group, although you can do either of those. But even if you just are by yourself, just sound forth to our beautiful, beloved Gaia and put healing and love out there into the field.
It's so perfect. It's so perfect. I really want to thank you so much for this brilliant idea that you had almost a quarter of a century ago.
More.
Well, you had the idea about the resonance and the frequency, but the fact that that you made a commitment to yourself and to us to guide us to the new earth, because we're in the middle of it right now. We're in the middle of huge changes that may not always be comfortable. There might be a lot of fear, and there is a way in community of bringing yourself back into alignment to the highest good of all, for yourself and everyone else. And this is a wonderful opportunity to do that.
Oh. Nice. I'm just guided right now to just share again something that we all know, which is with this divisiveness that's going on, the greatest tools to enhance the divisiveness are fear and anger. If whomever or whatever can keep you in fear and anger, then that keeps you separate. If you can somehow work with the energies of cooperation and compassion, we can get together, we can coalesce, we can be in a state of coherence, and then we can create this extraordinary formula. It's a new math. 1 + 1 = 3. We can be greater than the sum of our parts. And together, then, there's a lot of different problems that are facing us as a civilization right now. Are we going to be able to continue? Yes. Most of these problems were human created, and we can fix these problems if we begin to work together. It's as simple as that, and as profound as that, and as powerful as that.
Oh, I'm so grateful for both of you, and I'm so grateful that I've been able to follow and be a part of this as long as I have. It really has made a difference in my life, and that's why I'm so excited about encouraging everyone I know and everyone who's just discovering this to check this out. This will be a highlight of your year if you participate, because you will feel the resonance. You will feel like you're empowered and you're doing something positive for the earth and for all your loved ones. It's powerful. It's potent.
Yeah. And Kathy, I just want to say that we are grateful for you being that beautiful messenger and that spokesperson. And it has been truly our honor to share today with you and our beautiful audience today.
Well, I hope people will come in person. If you're in Colorado, in the Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins area, there is a way for us to be in group, up to 200 of us if we get that many people. That's going to be an amazing opportunity to be in resonance together. And also that you can participate online if you'd like in that community with Andi and Jonathan leading it. But there's, as we said on the website, there's just so many free opportunities to experience this. So please tell your friends and family and share this information. And every day can be World Sound Healing Day.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes, and yes. Every single day we can hold those energies of love and healing and sound forth with them.
Okay, so once again, we want to make sure everyone knows how to get a hold of both of you. So do you guys want to share your websites that you'd like to share right now?
Definitely.
Yeah, the overall website, if people want to find out about our work, because believe it or not, our work is able to sponsor World Sound Healing Day. We thus far don't have, in order to keep our autonomy, we've been, if you like, sponsoring it ourselves for this time. And it's it's Healing Sounds, healingsounds.com. And
sounds is plural.
And it's just one word. I've recently gone and people try to copy this website by doing healing-sounds or whatnot. That's not Healing Sounds, one word.com. And we've got all sorts of great information, great free downloads, great X, Y, or Z. We've been on the internet for probably as long as the internet, since the 90s. Yikes.
Yeah. But then people can also go to worldsoundhealingday.org. Right. So that's where they can go for the big February 14th day and events. And then, of course, Healing Sounds for our regular website. And lots of information out there. And Kathy, thank you for being able to let people know about this, because the more people who know about it, the more people will be able to add their love and healing.
If there's anybody in the vicinity of the Avalon Ballroom on February 14th, come on down. A splendid time is guaranteed for all.
Yeah. Well, we can hug in person, and you'll really see the more that you learn about sound healing, the more you'll be so glad you did, because you can have the benefit of that in your life and make your life so much better. It's just such a gift. Thank you both so much. I just can't say how much I appreciate the work you do and who you are, and so glad to know you. Thank you.
Oh, Kathy, and right back at you. We love you.
Oh, thank you. So we're going to sign off now, but please, guys, don't forget it's Valentine's Day, and you definitely want to do this.